Greetings, friends. Today we're going to deal with Evelyn's problem. Hi, Evelyn, can you tell us what happened to you?
I had no problems with my figure in my childhood and adolescence. In the 11th grade, I weighed 53 kg with a height of 168 cm. University, love, marriage, pregnancy. It brought me 40 extra kilograms. Immediately after the appearance of my son, I began to lose weight. Twice a week, I went to the gym, 3 times to the pool, plus massages, wraps, and other procedures. Always some kind of diet. There were a lot of them, from the simple to the downright mocking. I struggled with food addiction and overweight for 12 years. Before the operation, Catherine weighed 99 kg. Thought the result was, but then followed by breakdowns, which returned the weight to the previous mark. People around me said, "Stop torturing yourself, accept nature, weight doesn't spoil you." My husband never called me fat, so the desire to lose weight was not caused by the desire to keep him or to get additional male attention. I lived an active life, met with friends, went to theaters and movies. I didn't hide. I wasn't shy, but being overweight made me physically ill. Besides, we were planning to have a second child, and because of the excess weight, there were problems with it. I turned to dietitians, but their recommendations were reduced to counting calories, and I couldn't control my food intake. Psychologists didn't help either. It's pretty hard to compel me to do anything. I already knew everything they told me, but the addiction was stronger. For 8 years, I've been on the weight loss gain swing. I could put the extra weight down to hormonal changes after pregnancy, but the main reason was immoderate eating. I was eating away stress and problems. The pleasure of eating was replaced by guilt and despair. I would get on the scale, see a huge number, and still go to the refrigerator or go to fast food. I could eat 12 chicken wings, 2 slices of pizza, a chocolate brownie, and drink a liter of Coke. When I meet obese people who say they don't eat anything, I don't believe them. That's what I used to say. When almost all methods had been tried, the gynecologist told me about surgical treatment of obesity, bariatric surgeries. They are indicated for people who have long and unsuccessfully struggled with obesity and suffer from related diseases. I lost 17 pounds and got pregnant. I was examined and admitted to the hospital. I had a 700 ml balloon put in. The operation was quite simple, so I was already at home in the evening. But at night my body began to reject the foreign body. As it turned out later, this happens quite often, and it is a normal course of things. For 6 days I lay over the pelvis, thinking that I would never eat an extra piece again in my life. The pregnancy was normal. My doctor called regularly. Gradually I returned to the same amount of food. Weight gain started. In April, my long-awaited, healthy daughter was born. Taking care of 2 children, moving to a new house, I got wound up and the weight continued to increase. There was no time to take out the balloon. As it turned out later, against the background of toxicosis, he removed on his own. Again, I swam, did sports, tortured myself with diets. Breakdowns became more frequent. In 1.5 years after the birth of my daughter on the scales was a figure of 99 kg. I realized that further will be worse. By that time, the indications were not so much aesthetic as medical. Dyspnea, high blood pressure, borderline diabetes, hepatosis of the liver, and Mikulicz's disease, slowly progressive enlargement of salivary and lacrimal glands. Many people think that after the surgery I became disabled, but I believe that without the surgery I could have been disabled. I was facing type 2 diabetes with all its consequences, hypertension, and musculoskeletal problems. I struggled with food addiction and being overweight for 12 years. Catherine after surgery. Now I don't hide from the camera and wear nice clothes. I enjoy delicious food in small quantities without harming my health and psyche. Food addiction hasn't gone anywhere. When I am nervous, I still go to the refrigerator, but I can't physically eat much. 100 grams of food and that's it. My example inspired 2 of my friends who also suffered from morbid obesity. They had a gastric resection and their surgeries went without complications. One of them gradually lost 32 kg, her original weight of 118 kg, and the other 30 kg, 120. Both are living a completely full life and are happy they decided to have the surgery. Now, a year later, I am even grateful to life for this ordeal. My husband and I have become closer. He went through everything together with me and opened up to me from a new side. My mom also had a hard time with my surgery, but we realized how much we need each other. Now I'm never in a bad mood. When I feel sad, I remember the nights in the hospital, the snow and the lonely lantern outside the window, and I immediately feel.
Bariatric surgeries are performed strictly for indications and only for patients with morbid obesity when the body mass index exceeds 35. In addition, such operations are indicated for patients with diabetes. In our practice, there are extremes when we are approached by patients with a couple of extra kilograms. Of course, we refuse them and pass them on to our colleagues, nutritionists and endocrinologists. Ekaterina had all the indications for such an operation. It is important to realize that bariatric surgery is not an aesthetic procedure, but a serious intervention. Obesity is commonly considered an aesthetic problem, but excess weight is primarily the cause of a number of diseases. Bariatric surgeries are called metabolic surgery all over the world. That is, it is already clear from the name that they affect the process of metabolism and diseases associated with it, primarily type 2 diabetes. Such surgeries began to be performed in the late 1950s. Then, by trial and error, the most effective and safe techniques were chosen. At present, the risk of modern bariatric surgery does not exceed the risk of gallbladder removal surgery. Catherine's case is that very rare exception to the total number of successfully operated patients. A huge role is played by strict adherence to all recommendations of doctors on diet and lifestyle. Any surgery involves a risk of complications, and the story of Catherine is an example of this. Therefore, deciding on a surgical intervention, weigh the pros and cons, consult in several places, think about the consequences and carefully choose doctors. It is important that the experience and skills of the doctors, as well as the conditions of the clinic, allow you to successfully manage and deal with any conditions and complications that arise. In Catherine's case, we managed and did everything we had to do. And that's the end of the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a friend. See you soon!